Victory! Ha! Hope you enjoyed that, Rod. Woo! Yeah, had to wear my fancy juggernaut shirt this morning because my wide receiver core was a freaking juggernaut. Man, DeAndre Hopkins, that stack of Deshaun Watson. Man, Stephon Diggs showed up just in time to get on the field. And then Mr. Brandon Cooks. You had Jared Goff, and he kept pelting Mr. Cooks with targets all day long. Oh, it was nice. Oh, I was a little worried because he's facing Arizona defense, but man, he shredded that thing. I thought that was like Swiss cheese. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get to our fantasy tips. Let's go to number one. Okay, for your fancy tip number one, tilting. Write it down. Put it in your memory bank. Tilting's a big thing, especially in fantasy football. And what I mean by tilting is when a team is having a bad player and they're having a bad week, they'll start to tilt toward maybe he's not as good as I thought he was. I drafted him to be better. I picked him up off waivers. How come he's not doing good? Maybe he just had a bad matchup. Maybe there's something else that you know that he doesn't know. That makes it where you can come in for a trade offer and make a trade and hopefully get the guy you want. Just be smart about it. Don't lowball them too much, because you can lowball them too much and they're like, I don't want to trade at all with you. So be smart about it, but look for those high quality players who've had a bad week and then or a couple bad weeks, but they got some really juicy matchups coming up. That's when you want to go ahead and try to get that other guy to tilt for you. Let's get the fancy tip number two.
Man, I swear to you, the best thing for this team this season is me.
Are you finished?
No.
We'll get finished. And then get back to work. If I trade you, I trade you. If I don't, I don't. Do yourself a favor.
Okay. Fancy tip number two. Basically, don't be afraid to trade away a big player. I mean it. You just saw the clip. I mean, come on. If you have a guy and he's a big time player, but you can upgrade him to somebody else, somebody who really, really wants him, don't be afraid to trade him. Basically, every player on your team is tradable. Every player has a price that you can look at and go, yeah, I'm sending you packing. Because this game's ruthless. You can have your favorite player on your team and you'd be like, nope, gotta move them. Good example. Happened this week. Love it. Kansas City Chiefs fan. Patrick Mahomes. My gosh. Guy's on fire. Here comes Rob. He offers him Will Fuller. That's not good enough. Then he offers him Will Fuller, Chris Carson. Well, Carson's eventually going to lose his job to Penny. That's not good enough. Then here it comes. He gets offered Mike freaking Evans. A wide receiver one, a top 10 guy potentially for a quarterback who you can stream and whatever you want. Luckily, Lovick's in a good position where he has Tom Brady. So he makes the trade. Now, Lord and behold, he has Mike Evans. Now Tom Brady, who now has Josh Gordon to throw to, we found out. So, yeah, don't be afraid to trade, especially for guys that are, had a bad week. That's a good example of tilting too. Rod had a bad week. He saw a guy that scored a lot of fantasy points. He wants them. He's willing to pay too much for them. Boom. Wide receiver one. Mike Evans is now on Lovick's team. Good trade, Lovick. Give you an A+. Rodney, just disappointed, man. It's okay. If Patrick Mahomes keeps doing what he's doing, that trade was worth it. I don't think he will. His rate's ridiculous. Like, Carson Wentz's touchdown rate was like 7.8%, and that was like world record, NFL record. And now Mahomes is 17.8%. It's going to come down. There's going to be some games. There's going to be the Kareem Hunt show. Just letting you know. It's going to happen. But until then, man, if he keeps hot, if he's still hot, man, just ride him and ride or die with him, man. I don't blame you on that one if that's what you want to do. I did that with Sean last year. Just got to watch out for some injuries. But yeah, only 2 fancy tips this week. That's really all I have. Maybe we'll discuss waivers next week. I don't know. Maybe we'll discuss kickers. Kickers is a big deal. Dan Bailey. Yes. See y'all next week. Okay, there's another fancy tip. Number 3. This one does involve waivers because I just did it with Dan Bailey, so I think it's really important to talk about. It's going to be the difference between last place trophy and one of these. Yeah, so if it's Sunday games and there's a player that becomes available and they haven't played on Sunday, you can pick them up and you can drop anybody on your bench, even if they played, because you're picking up an inactive and you're dropping a player who you didn't start. So the league settings allow you to do that. So that's how I got Dan Bailey. He might help me win a Bundy. Let's go on to the next segment. Hey Vince, didn't forget about you. Let's talk some baseball. So my Cardinals, well, they're in the wild card, barely holding on. They won big last night. Big offensive explosion. Harrison Bader, a 3-run blast. Man, that kid's fun to watch. And could have 3 NL Central teams in the playoffs this year. Cubs, Brewers, and Cardinals. Brewers and Cardinals are in the wild card spots. Fantasy baseball update. In the championship game against Dixon, I just trounced Rod like 800 something points to 400. Like it wasn't even fair. But it's cool. Facing Dixon. Dixon had 3 stars go last night. Didn't pan out so well for him. I only had 1 go, so I'm pretty excited about that start. It's a good omen. It's a 2-week championship game. So, really proves who the better team is. It's really David versus Goliath. I'm Goliath. But I'm not getting hit by no freaking stones. Yeah, buddy. Anytime Dixon throws a stone, things going yard. Because my team, that's right, it's a juggernaut, man. Juggernaut. Play for a ring. Have a good week, Vince.